Hi there, welcome to a focused video within the Noah Presgrove case. It will be of your interest. We're trying to work out today, why did Jack Newton change the story, the narrative regarding the highway scene, as in Noah's clothing, the mismatched shoes, his own Adidas, and Caden's Hey Dude shoe, that in fact there was only one shoe on Noah's body at the time, the other one was somewhere else. That stood out quite a bit compared to the original story, what we've heard for quite some time, and even what Caden Precious said himself as a witness. Why did it suddenly change? Why did Jack do that? That's what I want to look at today. There is also a counterpoint, a comment on Facebook trying to reinforce the one shoe concept as a fact, which is a bit weird. So I'll be taking a look at that, reading it out, and then comparing with what we've heard and seen. And I'll give you references to where it came from. But for now, welcome to those that are currently hearing this live premiere. Share your thoughts, opinions, reactions in the live chat box on the right hand side of the screen. And at the end of this video, if your opinions have changed, if you've got any questions, let me know down below in the comment section under this video. You'll also find a pinned message by me with additional links if you do want to support this channel. Shout out, credit to those that have done so in recent time. Of course, Cleo, big shout out to Cleo, not only a long-time viewer, not only a long-time supporter, but just very consistent in general, more than ever. So big shout out. And, for people along the way who may not be watching live, but to catch up in the background, such as Skeptical, I'll try and create some maybe more custom emojis. Take in mind, I've only got limited slots available because YouTube restricts it, in which you need more members to unlock more, opportunities. So it's like, what was it, 135 or something for the next slot, and then 200 members needed in one go for the 18th emoji. And I'm not going to replace certain emojis because there are still people present on this channel that have supported the channel so much. I know there might be some people that come along the way which haven't contributed, but they may demand a lot. Well, got to be fair, right? Anyway, just wanted to acknowledge that. I'll try and work on a custom emoji if there's time. But right now, we need to focus in on the case. If you are interested in previous coverage, what I've done on the case and the video that I did earlier, top right corner of the screen where the eye symbol is, click up there, you'll be able to find it. Without further ado, let's start off with Facebook first. And I don't actually know where the conversation came from, but luckily it's a screenshot, because if it is on a certain page, probably wouldn't be able to access it. Nevertheless, let's see the photo. This was posted by Mike Johnson responding to Vanessa, I believe, saying, "No, it wasn't. Where's your proof? One shoe was said to be near the body in the beginning. Had it been staged, it would have been investigated differently than it is. Oakland Highway Patrol is handling the case because it happened in the highway." You mean on the highway? "You and your proof of all your accusations are untrue. Where's the 911 call you claim Jack made? Where's your proof besides your little chat with Colton that JJ was there or that he's a pedo? You say a lot of false stuff with your fake identities. Colton wasn't even there Sunday. Anything you claim should be disregarded because you have shown to be a less than honest person. That's putting it mildly." So it appears yet another individual that has an issue with Vanessa. It's kind of recent, this, with, the drama that has come about in recent time. Vanessa says, "I didn't make any chats with Colton." I guess Mike was referencing that Snapchat post with those different screenshots. Whoever was behind it, we got a response from Colton, which was interesting, and he's contradicted himself ever since when we did these side-by-side comparison. But for Mike to say, no, it wasn't, one shoe was said to be near to the body. Near the body? Well, how it's been described by Caden Pressy, a witness, news reports, and even, I believe, the official autopsy report, that Noah was found naked wearing mismatched shoes. Now, no, Caden said Noah was seen with shorts on, but then later Tyler Hardy said Noah was naked. Well, things possibly happened in between that with some hidden footage of tampering with evidence. But besides that, we're just focusing on the shoes today. So where is Mike getting his info from? Because how I've read it within the case, all it's ever been worded as was Noah was found wearing mismatched shoes, one of his own and Caden Pressey's. To say that there was a shoe nearby implies that it wasn't even on Noah. How weird. Now, Mike's saying if it had been staged, it would have been investigated differently. You think? What about the supposed tampering with evidence? Have you not acknowledged or heard about that before? So, I don't know if Mike Johnson has been influenced by what Jack Newton has said, but let's just head on over to the maps so I can start doing my analysis. This time round, I just want to focus on the highway area, roughly speaking, round here. That's where Noah was found, whether he be naked or not. Seems to be a bit of a before and after, and something happening in between it. Will we ever get certain key footage being released public? Probably not. That's kind of unfortunate. I think some hard evidence is most needed now more than ever. It might squash some things, reinforce other points. Would it bring people closer together? I don't know. Doesn't really matter too much at this rate. But it's becoming maybe a small scale shoe debacle. Okay, I mean, this isn't like a crime of fashion. We're not bringing in the fashion police, but we need to get kind of a grip of ourselves. So roughly in this area, and then on the other side, I think that's like a pond area, which is kind of interesting. If you used to think of any items being disposed of, you check your surroundings. I think I saw some comments previously where they said there was like markings, time marks on the side bit, but you got to take in mind that this street view may not be truly up to date, or it could be too up to date and not relevant to the time of the case. It doesn't actually give a date for street view. That's unfortunate. But at least from what Caden Pressey said as a witness, that Noah was wearing mismatched shoes. As for the autopsy report, Noah wearing mismatched shoes. As for just about all the news articles out there which have been read and analysed, said that there was mismatched shoes. And it's only Jack Newton of all people in recent time, and it's not that recent now, but retrospectively, the last Partners in True Crime interview that they did on the case, which involved a pre-recorded phone call interview with Jack Newton, Jack stating along the highway there was only one shoe. Now, you can always check it back if you want. I did make reference to it briefly on in my analysis video at the time, and it's just a bit weird because Jack is also the one that mentioned how Logan was the last person to see Noah walk away from the party house, even though Jack originally was the last one to see, Noah walk away, but then it changed to Logan. It's just the fact that whilst the story has changed or new details have been added on, it's not like it was done early on when your mind and memory was fresh. No, these extra, never heard, never seen before details have been added on close to a year later. And that's problematic. Why wasn't it said in the past? Why wasn't it said at the start? Oh, because it's better to say it later so it confuses people and derails things. And it can't be the issue of memory loss or so, because completely new details are being added on. It's not a simple mistake of saying 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. No, you're adding in a completely new name, new character within a certain event in the case and the outcome of it. So with the shoe situation, I mean, I could possibly look into it and compare just to see what Jack had to say on the News Nation interview, see if any details different there from what was mentioned in Partners in True Crime. But, if you was to look at it as in Noah was wearing mismatched shoes, so he would have put them on whilst he was at the party, you would think, but where was he going? Where was he intending on going to put mismatched shoes on? You could ask yourself, when Noah supposedly walked off earlier at the party or a day before, as it's been said, did he put shoes on then or not? If he put shoes on then there's a bit of a pattern. In terms of putting on mismatched shoes then, maybe that's accidental or one was in a rush. I mean, you should be able to know and identify if you got the right shoes on, or if the one looks different to the other visually speaking. If it's like the same size and style and fit, maybe it wouldn't bother you too much. But, you look down to put your shoes on, surely you can see yourself if it's your shoe or not. And what, Noah was quite fine putting on someone else's shoe? Is that just because he couldn't find his other Adidas one? Who knows? Was it because he was in a rush? Was it because he was drunk, wasn't quite thinking? Who knows? But ended up along the highway with them on him. And people have said that If it was a hit and run, his shoes or one of them would have been knocked off easily. Yeah, that wasn't the case. But from Jack Newton's perspective, as time's gone on, it kind of implied more of a hit and run, because we've seen him, he's a bit of a cheerleader when it comes to that concept, cause of death, and then adding on that thing of only one shoe present. Did he say which one exactly? The Adidas one or the Hey Dude shoe? Can't fully remember, but still, why only mentioned kind of recent, not like a year ago? That's what I find interesting. And even when Caden made reference to mismatched shoes being on Noah at the time, if there was any resistance from people, whoever that may be, it wasn't to do with being scolded for describing the shoes, it was to do with the shorts. So clearly, the shorts was the problem, because it probably is a key part within the case, as in what may have happened and the dodgy stuff. But in terms of the shoes, how important are they? If only one shoe was on Noah at the time at this scene, let's just put it that way, even though that doesn't seem to be the case, if Noah only had one shoe on scene, where is his other shoe? That makes it even more dodgy. If you say there was only one shoe present, it wasn't on Noah's body, but it was by the side of him or on the road, you could say, oh, well, it's a hit and run because, must have got hit and then it caused the shoes to fly off. But still, besides that, and, police ruling it out, where would his other shoe be? And whether he had mismatched shoes on or not at the highway, he was still missing his Adidas shoe, which you would think be still at the party. But where did that end up? Where did it go? The family said they've not been able to get back Noah's hat. They've not been able to get those golf clubs back. Not been able to get the shirt back, the wallet. Simple but personal items, possessions, which could bring a bit of comfort, and yet can't even get that. Okay, not been able to get justice for Noah yet, or that closure, but just items from the party at the time, can't even get a hold of them. I mean, how difficult is it really? And I'm referring more to the possible incompetence by the others that were present at the party at some point. All they had is one job: keep everything as it is at the time. Keep it fresh whilst it's raw. Don't want to be touching too much or fiddling about, because it could harm the case. And anyone taking it upon themselves who think they knows better, right, we'll sort this out and take care of that, distribute this or dispose of that. I mean, you aren't the parents, you aren't a family member of Noah. It should be the family members, the parents of Noah, that should get the choice as in what happens with Noah's possessions, right? Out of respect. But I guess people may have taken it upon themselves. And it'd be interesting to know at what time did Noah's Adidas shoe go missing? At what time did Noah lose his sunglasses? At what time did he lose his wallet? I mean, out of all the items, for example, the phone or phones, they were retrieved successfully, I believe. And they're probably more critical than a bit of clothing, because a phone can store data, phone pings, and much more. Clothing can have touch-based DNA evidence upon it, of course, and it can link in with a case or a crime, but it just doesn't have as much data as a digital electronic device. And yet, it's the clothing, the slightly lesser significant possible evidence and personal possessions of Noah, which have gone walking away, disappeared. And yet the phones, they weren't disposed of. They weren't chucked in the nearest pond. That didn't happen. So the hierarchy of evidence is a little bit all over the place once again, exactly reminding me of the Dylan Rounds case, as in how things were disposed of. Some things more important than others, but easier to get a hold of or access. Don't know why that would happen. And just in people's opinion, more so the shoe of Noah, where do you think it ended up? You think it's still at the party house? How long did it take until it moved away? Was it the person or people responsible for taking the golf clubs of Noah's brothers, Dalen, to the scrap pile behind Jack? So the same people that also, may have got rid of Noah's hat, sunglasses, wallet, shoe, top, shirt, right? Would they have all ended up in the same spot? Could they have been burnt in a burn barrel or buried in the ground or possibly put in water like a pond of some sort? Are there any burn barrels on site of the property? I mean, if we was to have a brief look right now, it's really hard to pick up on stuff. I mean, you got that like big lamp there which illuminates the area, some kind of box there, the shed, the barn, which hasn't really been talked about much at all, which is unfortunate because it was used at the party for something. Is there any footage of inside of the building? Not from the looks of it, not seen any. I don't see like any like indication of burn barrels, to be honest with you. There, I believe, are just like a mailbox, a signpost saying warning or so. As for down here, that's like a different property. It's not property, it's just a different building. But there are vehicles parked outside of it. So, you know what, I'll ask the question once again. Although it's like a side piece, this, I believe, was taken sometime in June, possibly 2024 onwards, and there was a car parked outside. Why? Why is this car parked outside? Who does it belong to? Does anyone live there right now? Yes or no? Next question. Who lives here? At this point in time or right now? 2 vehicles or so. Who lives here? And this one. Who lives here? Still in use or what? Because if it is a bit quiet, isn't it just going to waste? Just seems a bit of a waste, pointless. You've got these buildings here and no one's really living in them. Or they're just used temporarily for parties nowadays. Or is there like a catalyst that because of what happened with Noah Presgrove, the events surrounding it, the atmosphere, it kind of clouds this area in a slightly negative way. So it's best laying your head low and not being active too much in this place or living here because it can, make you a marked target, or it can just cause more trouble with the case. Who knows? In terms of, it's just a little random update what I saw. Roughly in this area where, like, you call it a memorial or so of Noah is with a cross, the grass was mowed, or the lawn was mowed by Justin Roy, I think. And whether it be then or before, I think it was Donna Bond. And that's just, to preserve the area so it doesn't get overgrown and neglected. So it's good of people to do that, of course. But yeah, just weird how the story changes with the shoe scenario. Oh, Noah was wearing a pair of mismatched shoes. And then later, oh no, Noah was only seen with one shoe. He either had a pair of mismatched shoes on, or he didn't. And to be honest, for most part of it, it's stacked against Jack. It just makes me think, was Jack doing it as a last-ditch, desperate attempt to just say one shoe, and maybe not on Noah to make it sound more like a hit and run, like when you get hit, the shoes go flying off. It could be that. So yes, you do. This is like a true crime, possible true crime case. The mystery of the cause of death for Noah, just because of the autopsy, officially doesn't give like a time. It doesn't give a type of death, I should say. What are all the mysteries, within this case? If people were wondering, what are the mysteries within the case and the area? The mystery of cause of death, the mystery of time of death, the mystery of who or what is responsible, the mystery of Noah's personal possessions and items, the mystery of narratives changing or new things being added to the story with time. So this video, just wanted to use the map so I can describe it visually to you. Hopefully it made sense. If you want to, feel free to hit the like button, share the video to spread that awareness. We'll see what happens next. And if you want to catch up on the previous video earlier, just click on that eye symbol up there. We'll see what happens next. Kenny Veach. I might do a Kenny Veach video another time because that'll be interesting. Just be on the lookout. And if there are any other little updates, I might provide a community post on the channel. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.